I've had a few people ask me about how I'm using RightMessage and personalization on Double Your Freelancing, and I thought instead of writing an article or whatnot, at least just yet, I thought it'd be easier to show you a few things behind the scenes in terms of what I'm doing to uh, increase opt-ins across the board, both by changing what I call my universal call to action, along with the call to actions that are seen at places where people opt in, namely articles. So I've opened up an incognito browser. I'm at my homepage. You'll notice a few things. So what I say here is, this course has helped 20,000 plus freelancers raise their rates. This is what, if I have no idea who you are, what you do, or anything like that, you're going to see that. You're going to see an email field. You're going to see a drop down with what kind of work you do, and then a submit button. So I'm going to go and let's say that I'm simulating somebody who organically landed on my site and started reading articles on, let me shut my phone off. Started reading articles on proposals. So I've got 2 articles here on proposals. I'm going to open both of these up. Now, one thing I want you to notice is you'll notice that the call to action down here is about proposals. So this is the call to action they would see kind of across the board. Freelancers find out how to close more proposals. Same thing you're going to see over here. Now, I want you to notice here, let me actually just open this up in another incognito to carry that over. All right, so side by side, you'll see on the left hand, the original is freelancers raise their rates. This is freelancers rate winning proposals. And again, it's just looking at the most common type of content that someone's been reading, and it's changing. In this case, the homepage's call to action here, but also the call to actions people see in articles. So I'm going to go to a different category now, and I'm going to go over to, let's go to pricing. So pricing. I'm going to read so I've read 2 articles of proposals. I'm going to spend more time reading about, and you'll notice it's still, the call to action on this page is still about proposals. But I'm going to go and read a bunch of articles on pricing. And again, just simulating somebody who might have originally read stuff on proposals. Now they're reading about pricing. So what would happen here? So when they go to the bottom, you'll see the call to action is about, learning how to charge what you're worth, or specifically about pricing. And when I go to this page here, the home page that used to be focused on writing proposals, if I refresh now, it's back to freelancers to raise their rates. So that's one thing. I'm just looking at the kind of content people are consuming, and the homepage hero call to action, along with any other call to actions that are embedded or otherwise, are going to reflect consumption behavior. Now, where things get fun is, let's say that I don't have it running at the moment, but let's say that they told me that they are a designer. So I have this little survey thing that could pop up that would ask people what kind of work they do, or if they're behaviorally doing things that signify that they might be a designer, like reading articles that I put together that are meant for designers. And again, RightMessage handles all that stuff kind of out of the box and easily for you. But if they were doing actions that make them likely to be a designer, what would happen behind the scenes would be we would register that they are a designer. And then if I were to go back to this article, for instance, the freelancers learn how to charge what you're worth. When I reload this, designers learn how to charge what you're worth. Again, it's just more relevant, more specific to the person viewing. They're going to say, oh, this was meant exactly for me. And now back at my homepage, I refresh this, and now 20,000 plus designers raise their rates. Now that's a bit inaccurate, obviously. It's 20,000 plus total, including designers. But for the sake of having messaging that is hyper relevant to the viewer, that works really, really, really well. If they were in Drip, I actually haven't set this up to use my local storage yet within RightMessage, but I'd also change this headline to be about freelance designers. And then if they told me they were an agency, it would say business-minded design agencies. So again, the goal is, what I've been doing, and I've been doing this with a lot of success, is to be able to say, why do content upgrades work? They work because when people see, they're reading an article about hamsters, and then the call to action is about a checklist for buying a hamster or something like that. it's hyper relevant to the article they just read. That's why you see like 20+% opt-in rates on certain content upgrades. So all we're doing here is we're trying to say, well, how can we leverage that same need for relevancy people have? And instead of having this, generic opt-in or the generic join my list or whatever, we're able to change the way we position our call to actions to be specific to the behavioral and the demographic data that we're collecting about visitors. So in this case, somebody who's read a lot on proposals and they've done things that indicate they're a designer, they're going to get messaging around the call to actions about how I can help them as a designer close more proposals.